It's Kieran from Sport Reported. Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be doing my live reaction to the 2021-2022 Emirates English FA Cup second round draw. Um, Dagenham Redbridge against Salford City is literally just finishing up now. It's currently Dagenham 0, Salford 1, so Salford look like that the early goal will take them through. 10 minutes of stoppage time in that game, but it looks like they will be headed to the second round draw. But lots to talk about, of course, in this. And what until the draw comes on, I'm just really going to take you through some of the first round action that's been taking place across the weekend. Those of you who didn't know, I was at a game this weekend. I was at Eastleigh's game at Boreham Wood. And I guess I'll start with that game, really. Boreham Wood, top of the National League, taking on Eastleigh, very much mid-table in the National League. I was expecting some changes for Boreham Wood, and that didn't happen. They made just one. And as a result, they were able to pretty comfortably dispatch of Eastleigh in the end. Eastleigh looked decent in the first half an hour, but after that looked brittle and looked devoid of ideas. And two Scott Bowden goals took Boreham Wood through in the end. And yeah, that was enough, really. Didn't see enough from Eastleigh, to be completely honest, which is a shame. I would have loved to have seen Eastleigh go on a cup run. But it is what it is, and Boreham Wood will head to the second round proper. So they're top of the National League and in the second round of the FA Cup. You can't ask for much more on that as a National League club. Dagenham Redbridge against Salford City has just finished, and it did finish Dagenham Redbridge 0, Salford City 1. So Salford City will be in the second round draw, which will be taking place, should be any moment now, really. Just a brief sort of overview of the second round action, or first round action, I should say, actually. There was the likes of Scunthorpe Doncaster, which was a bit of a derby in a sense, but mostly down to the Scunthorpe being bottom of League Two, taking on Doncaster, who are down in the depths of League One as well. Doncaster were able to get a narrow 1-0 win there. Lots of non-league sides in the competition, of course, and many of them putting on a very, very valiant performance. We saw Guiseley go to AFC Wimbledon, and they only lost 1-0, so a valiant performance from them. We saw Horsham go up to Carlisle United, and do a really good job there as well. Hello, Ethan, mate, you're right. And I mean, there was Havant and Waterlooville as well, who went to Charlton. The scoreline was 4-0 to Charlton, but I think it was 72 minutes it took Charlton to break down Havant. And excellent performance from all of the non-league sides, really. Hazen Edding as well, can't forget them. They took on Sutton, and of course our Football League now, and lost by just a goal to 0. Harry, I'm watching the draw on the ITV hub on my phone. So it's been drawn live on ITV4. So if you've got ITV4 on your TV, then it should be on there. But if not, then on the ITV hub or something like that, that's where I'm watching it. So let's give you a quick run through of the teams that are in the hat. So of course, Colchester United beat Sudbury on Friday night. And then you got Doncaster Rovers, Gillingham or Cheltenham Town, AFC Wimbledon, Boreham Wood, Bradford City or Exeter City, Carlisle United, Charlton Athletic, Chesterfield, Tranmere Rovers, Swindon Town, FC Halifax Town, of course, who had that crazy 7-4 victory over Maidenhead United, Burton Albion, either Gateshead or Altrincham, Harrogate Town, the winner of Wickham or Hartlepool, Sutton United, the winner of the Ipswich Town Oldham replay, Kidderminster Harriers, Walsall, Leyton Orient, Lincoln City. Those are two other non-league sides, by the way, who put in very good performances. Ebbsfleet at Leyton Orient, and particularly Bowes and Pitsea, 7th tier side, going to Lincoln City, who are a decent side in League One. And only conceding one. Good outing from them. The winner of the Stevenage MK Dons replay, Morecambe, the winner of the Northampton Cambridge replay, Port Vale, Portsmouth, Rotherham United. Mansfield Town caused a bit of an upset, of course, going up to the Stadium of Light and getting a 1-0 win. Was courtesy of a goalkeeping error, but they were able to hold on, so credit to them. Solihull Moors as well, very good performance from them. Probably, arguably, the performance of the round. They've got a replay at home to Wigan Athletic, of course, who played a very strong team, kind of flying high in League One. Yeovil Town, Buxton, fantastic achievement from them, 7th tier side from the Northern Premier League. They went away to York City of the National League North. Of course, York City were fancied, and they went and got a 1-0 win, courtesy of an absolute screamer, by the way. And Barrow, who dispatched of Banbury United. And then from Sunday's games, of course, there were a few Sunday games. If I can just get them up. There we go. The winner of the Plymouth Sheffield Wednesday replay, Oxford United or Bristol Rovers. The winner of the Stockport Bolton replay, the winner of the Notts County Rochdale replay. Shrewsbury Town, of course, went 1-0 down at Stratford and ended up going on to win 5-1. St Albans City, again, arguably the performance of the round, went on to beat Forest Green Rovers, who are a very good side from League Two. They went on to beat them 3-2. And of course, as I said, Dagenham and Redbridge lost to Salford City, so Salford City will be in the hat. So yeah, it is on ITV4. It should be on ITV4 now, but if you can't get it on ITV4 for whatever reason, then it will be on the ITV Hub. So yeah, go and check that out if you can. The draw hasn't started yet, for those who are wondering. But yeah, there's some good ties to be made there. I mean, the Stockport Bolton replay will be excellent. I mean, we saw how many Stockport took to Bolton, to the Macron Stadium, which was tremendous support. They went 1-0 up, I think, and then they were able to get a replay against Bolton Wanderers, which is going to be excellent. The replays will be played, as far as I'm aware, a week Tuesday, unless otherwise. So how long till the draw starts? Well, they're currently doing the interviews now with the Salford players, so I imagine there'll be a bit of analysis. I'm going to hazard a guess. What's the time now? Probably will start by around about 10 o'clock, I would say. But yeah, some fantastic games over the weekend. Plenty of goals. Maybe not as many upsets as some would have hoped. I certainly would have hoped for some more. But some really good performances all round. And of course, you know, from my perspective, it's disappointing to see Eastleigh go out. But the second round's an interesting one, of course, because you know, you've got a combination of non-league sides still in it, and some maybe lesser football league sides, all vying for a place in the third round, of course, which is where the big boys come in. You know, you've got all your Premier League giants and some big Championship clubs as well. So there's some big games to be made in the third round. So it really is a scrap the second round to get the opportunity to get those big money draws, which is what it's all about at the end of the day. And yeah, there's going to be plenty of teams who are well up for this second round, and of course, fans being back as well, which is so important, especially for some of these non-league clubs. We've seen it already over the weekend. Some great crowds, maybe not so great crowds at some other games, but yeah, it's to be expected to an extent. You know, you can't always get packed grounds for example, for a side like Charlton, who are facing a National League South side at home. It's just not going to happen. Could there be more? Yeah, of course. I think there was about 3.8k, and 800 of those were Havant. But you know, I'm not picking on Charlton. It's just an example that I had off the top of my head. There's a number of football league clubs who there were some pretty poor crowds for over the weekend, but it's just one of those things. But yeah, so as for the Dagenham Salford game, actually, Salford scored really early on. It was a decent header. The keeper probably should have stopped it, if I'm being completely honest. Jordan Turnbull with the goal, of course, ex Saints Academy. And yeah, I mean, Dagenham were in the game at points and created a few chances. Salford, though, always looked like they were capable of holding on, and they did in the end. Dagenham will be disappointed to have conceded from so early on, of course, but it is just one of those things, I suppose. And for Salford, of course, it's, you know, FA Cup's a competition that they've got a lot of history with. Most people's first time seeing Salford City and being aware of the Salford City story was, of course, in the FA Cup. I believe because they had 2 FA Cup games on TV. I believe the first one was against Notts County, and then there was one against Hartlepool, I believe, as well, back when Hartlepool were in the Football League. But yeah, and I remember Salford going on and winning that game. It was a great story, and of course, Salford have come so far in such a short space of time since then. Hello, Jason, mate. How you doing? Not sure how the Daggers lost. Missing Macca to put the ball in the net. Yeah, they really are. Paul McCullum, what a guy. I mean, I thought, who was the player? Is it Balanta? I think it was up top. He looked dangerous for Dagenham, but yeah, just a little bit extra quality, I think, from Salford in the end. But yeah, there's plenty of great games to be made. They are just doing the post-match analysis now, so the draw should take place anytime. Hopefully, I haven't come on live too early, but we shall see. Of course, for those of you who don't know, I'm a Southampton fan, so my team doesn't come in until the third round proper. But I do love the cup. I've always loved the cup. I think the FA Cup is the greatest competition in the world, and some managers, players, and fans alike have lost respect for it over the years, which is it's disappointing to see. I remember how good the FA Cup used to be, even back in my sort of younger days. And it's sometimes not quite the same, but then there are moments where you just get reminded about how brilliant the FA Cup is. And yeah, like I said, it's my favourite competition by a long, long way. I love the cup. So from a Southampton perspective, we have been very much shafted with our draws for the most part over the last few years. But I mean, Southampton, of course, have great memories of the FA Cup. It's pretty much the only major trophy we have won back in 1976, of course. And thoughts on the Eddie Howe appointment and thoughts on Norwich wanting Ralph. Well, yeah, the Eddie Howe appointment at Newcastle, I think it's an interesting one, really, because you've got to look at it from a perspective of Newcastle really need to stay in the league, obviously, if they want to continue their plans from next season. They've got a lot of money to spend in January. I think the thing is with Eddie Howe is he did a very good job with a Bournemouth team that for a long time didn't really have a lot of money. And then the first time in a while when he did have quite a bit of money, not obviously Newcastle amounts, but they did have a bit of money. He took them down. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to cope with a very much transitioning squad, whilst also trying to keep them up. And I think another interesting thing about it is, as much as he did wonders with that Bournemouth team for so many years, he's never really been involved in a rescue job before. And I think right now, Newcastle's looking a bit like a rescue job. I think they're on 4 points, and it's November, second week. So yeah, it's an interesting one, really. Thoughts on Pompey winning the FA Cup this season? Well, that's a bit of a stretch, Luke, to be completely honest, because you barely scraped past Harrow Borough, but that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, I think I think Eddie Howe, I think he can do well for Newcastle. Of course, he knows some of the players quite well. Callum Wilson, Matt Ritchie. He's shown that he can do well with a lesser squad, which, let's be honest, is what Newcastle have as of now. Can he keep them up? I think he can, but I think it is a slight risk. I mean, they may not have liked the appointment, but short term, they maybe could have gone for someone more experienced in these kind of rescue jobs. I mean, people are going to laugh. Maybe Big Sam. I think Big Sam could have been a shout at least till the end of the season, just to make sure that Newcastle stayed in the league. Of course, it's difficult because you could go out and get a world-class manager now, but are they going to be able to keep a squad that realistically is one of the worst in the league? Are they going to be able to keep them in the league? And Harrow Borough are absolutely massive. I agree. To be fair play. This is actually a point. Fair play to Harrow Borough. They took 500 to Pompey. I mean, that's cracking effort. I know it's not the world's longest journey. It's obviously their big day out, but 500 from Harrow Borough is a terrific effort from them. Benjani. Well, Benjani he's the second greatest player of all time, behind Emmanuel Mayuka. That is another story for another day. What time is the draw? I'm hoping to see Rotherham play Sutton so I can see my mates. Well, it's adverts currently. I would guess the draw is any minute now. Like I said, what's the time? I'm going to assume that literally they're going to come back from the adverts any second now, and they'll do a bit of talking, but generally the draw will start in a few minutes. Rotherham beat Bromley at the weekend. Pretty comfortable. Rotherham having a good season. And Bromley themselves, actually, Haji Minoga, Luke will know about this, the Pompey loanee, coming on and getting sent off 6 minutes later for an absolute horror tackle. Sutton, they beat Hayes and Yedding. Of course, probably strange for Sutton considering all of the FA Cup history they have over the years being the hunted rather than the hunters. Sorry, but they got the job done at Hayes and Yedding, just 1-0. But all you got to do is win, as Luke will vouch for. 1-0 against Harrow Borough may not be the most impressive scoreline in the world, but they're in the hat. That's all that matters. Was an unreal challenge. Yeah. I really love the FA Cup, and I'm sure most of you on here now do as well. One of the things actually is that I get way too excited for the draws. I don't know what it is. I just love a good cup draw, and I always get too excited from a Southampton perspective, thinking we're going to get these crazy away draws at lower league sides, and we always get Premier League teams, so I always get let down in that respect. But let me know in the comments what ties you guys want, and whoever you support, who you want your team to get. We've already seen Nick, who wants Rotherham to play Sutton. Luke, if you're still on, who do you want Pompey to get? And Buxton to draw Notts County or Rochdale. Yeah, that would be interesting. And that's another point. Buxton, massive credit to them. Northern Premier League, I believe they're from, 7th tier, going away to York City. Of course, a club with a bit of history in the Football League, currently in the National League North with their new stadium. Clayton Donaldson up top for them at the weekend, but they just couldn't score. And the goal, by the way, I'm really sorry, I can't for the life of me remember the guy who scored it, but it was an excellent goal from Buxton. And my team is not yet in the competition. Who is your team, John? Just out of interest. Obviously, your team must be a Premier League or Championship side. And Luke wants Mamelodi Sundowns away. I mean, I think that'd be a cracking game. Mamelodi Sundowns is a fantastic away there. I've been many times. So they are showing the goals from the weekend. Boreham Wood to draw Pompey and for Jason to be fuming. Yeah, it would be just our luck, wouldn't it? I mean, Pompey easily would have been insane. I'm not sure. I've got a feeling Pompey might draw the winners of Dagenham and Salford game, so that will be Salford at home. So a replay of the Pizza Cup final from last season. Well, actually, it was a season 4, wasn't it? Hull City. Great win for Hull at the weekend, by the way. Barren spell for Hull, and then I think it was 2-0 at Barnsley. And but Boreham Wood are legit. They look a very, very good side. That was my first time seeing Scott Bowden play. He was giving it large to the EC fans. But a couple of good finishes. The first one was a tap-in, but he did well to get into the position. And he looked a threat the whole game. And they looked competent all over the pitch. And they look a size that, will probably be in the Football League sooner rather than later if they continue to build the way they are. They've knocked on the door a few times in the playoffs. And of course, there was Boreham Wood, who were at Wembley when they played Tranmere Rovers. I believe they went 1-0 up, if I remember rightly. So they've been there before. Why on earth are they at Wembley at 10 p.m? Should be drawn at Dagenham's ground. Yeah, that is correct. And the draw is just about to start, I believe. I may be a little bit behind, I can't lie. Zach Clark, how do I watch the draw? Should be on ITV4, mate, if you've got ITV4 on your TV or anything like that. If not, then try the ITV Hub, which is what I'm watching it on at the minute. It's Sean Wright Phillips doing a draw, and Rachel Yankee. So yeah, they should be getting going any minute now. They're just doing the introductions. But yeah, there's some good ties to be made. I mean, I'd like to see Buxton get one of the bigger League One sides. Of course, Sheffield Wednesday, need a replay against Plymouth Argyle away from home. That'll be tough. Two very good sides. Plymouth are having a good season in League One. But I'd like to see Buxton maybe get someone that likes the Sheffield Wednesday. I think that would be good. And who else is still in a competition? Still got St Albans City in there as well. So maybe St Albans City against one of the League Ones as well. And yeah, you're absolutely right, John. Shout out Sutton United for their excellent form this season. They've impressed me a lot. I haven't expected them to be this good. They've been unbelievable in League Two, and of course they beat Pompey away, which is always a good thing. But yeah, I've been really impressed with Sutton, and yeah, I mean, who knows? There's been a number of sides who, over the years, a few years back, have come up and used the almost the bounce effect, getting double promotions. We've seen it a number of times: National League to League One, National League to League Two, League Two to League One, or League Two to League One, and then League One to the Championship. It can happen, so who knows? It'd be a great story for Sutton if they could do something of the sorts. St Albans are ball number 17, Halifax at number 19, Kidderminster number 22, Buxton number 25. So the draw will be getting underway any minute now. And although non-league sides getting drawn against each other maybe isn't the greatest thing in the world for certainly the losing side like Eastleigh, because you want the big draws, you want the big teams. But in this round in particular, it is good because it would guarantee non-league sides in the third round, which is absolutely fantastic. That's what we always want to see. They are just about to make the first draw. I'm looking forward to this. I really am. Sean White-Phillips is going to be drawing the home teams. Rachel Yankee going to be drawing the away teams. The first one is Yeovil Town. Yeovil Town, of course, beat Yate Town 5-0 away from home at the weekend. They've got MK Dons or Stevenage. Stevenage, very good result for them the weekend. Getting a replay. Oxford or Bristol Rovers. League One, League Two side who need a replay. Sutton have got Oxford or Bristol Rovers away. So, John, if you're still in the chat, not the greatest away draw of Sutton, but an Albion next. Port Vale, but an Albion has Port Vale. Obviously, tie of the round, that is. Buxton are at home. Let's get a big League One team. Come on, big League One side. Sorry, I keep knocking the table. Morecambe. I mean, it's a League One team, which is great. Maybe not the biggest following, maybe not the biggest club. No disrespect to Morecambe, but it's still a pretty good draw for Buxton. I'm sure I'll take it. And if that's not on TV, then I'll be raging. Lincoln City will take on Hartlepool or Wickham. Bowes and Pitsea, of course, narrowly beaten by Lincoln City at the weekend, with the boy Dan and Dulu starting up top for Lincoln. Wimbledon are at home. And they'll be at home to Gillingham or Cheltenham. Colchester United are at home. Of course, beat Sudbury away on Friday night in the opening game of the weekend. And I'll be home to Wigan or Solihull Moors. So Solihull Moors, listen, they've done really well to get a replay against Wigan. If they can somehow pull it off in the home draw, yeah, listen, I mean, Colchester aren't the greatest side in the world in League Two. It could be a path opening there to the third round for them. Leyton Orient will take on Tranmere Rovers. Northampton or Cambridge, of course, they need a replay. And another two teams that need a replay, Exeter or Bradford City. Doncaster Rovers, who scraped past Scunthorpe at the weekend, and the battle of the two bottom teams near bottom teams in League Two and League One. They'll host Mansfield Town, who of course pulled off a great upset of sorts against Sunderland at the weekend. At the stadium, like that was. Walsall, who avoided a cup set at Kings Lynn Town at the weekend. Cambridge will win the replay. It's a difficult one. It depends if Cambridge, Walsall against Swindon Town. It depends if either side rest any players. That's always the thing with these first round games, and particularly replays. Rotherham will host Bolton or Stockport County. Okay, so big replay between Stockport and Bolton. And if Stockport can get through, they're rewarded with a pretty good away day at Rotherham. Gateshead or Altrincham are at home. This is big. They got Charlton Athletic at home. Good draw. Good draw for them. Charlton, of course, who beat Havant and Waterlooville by 4-0 at the weekend. Boreham Wood, of course, Eastleigh's conquerors. At home, who did they get? St Albans City. Oh my God. There was a path. There was a path to the third round. Oh no. No disrespect to St Albans. I mean, I'd be disappointed if I was a St Albans fan. There was a path to the third round. Oh no, I know, Jason. Oh man, I feel so bad. Oh man. Kidderminster have got FC Halifax. That's another one. Guaranteed non-league sides, 2 of them in the third round, which is a good thing in some respects. Guaranteed, as I said, non-league sides. Carlisle United are at home to Shrewsbury Town. Oh man, St Albans City at home. Oh, wow. Salford City, who of course just won the TV game at Dagenham. The Monday night game. But good to see FA Cup football back on ITV. That's what I grew up on, seeing the likes of Salford City got Chesterfield, seeing the likes of Northwich Victoria against Charlton back in the day, Histon against Leeds. That was another one. There was some great AFC Tottenham against Bristol Rovers. I mean, there were some great FA Cup ties back on ITV. Rochdale or Notts County against Sheffield Wednesday or Plymouth Argyle. Ipswich Town or Oldham Athletic. Another replay. Oldham, great result for them getting a replay at Ipswich. Ipswich played a strong side. And they'll be home to Barrow. Portsmouth. I mean, I already know who they've got. I'm obviously behind, but Harrogate Town. Well, at least it's at home this time. 2 home ties for Pompey. And that's the whole draw. Wow, that was the last one. Yeah, Harrogate at home for Pompey. So, so some interesting ties in there. It's good to see either Gateshead or Altrincham get a League One side in Charlton. I'm disappointed, of course, that Eastleigh didn't get through with Boreham Wood getting St Albans City. Couple of guaranteed non-league sides though in the third round proper, which is always very good. It's bad for the one who ends up going out in the second round because they miss out on the big day out, I suppose. But third round proper, there's going to be, I believe there was 2 all non-league sides or all non-league ties, sorry, maybe more, which is fantastic stuff. Which also means that there's a possibility that my team Southampton could get a non-league side. Who knows? It's the way the FA Cup goes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get the draw up in full on my phone so I can just quickly run through it for you guys. And yeah, righto. It's not going to come up, is it? Let me just search it. FA Cup draw. Come on, don't be annoying. There we go. Thank you. Can always rely on it. Oh, no, that's draw numbers. Never mind. Right. Come on. Give me the draw. Nope. Well, so, I mean, from a Pompey perspective, as I was saying before, it's a decent route into the third round. Yeah, not the greatest draw for Sutton United. Come on. I just want to see the draw and fall, to be honest. Here we go. Right. So, Yeovil Town against MK Dons or Stevenage. Yeovil, of course, we avoided the cup set back in the first round away to Yate Town. Very, very professional performance from them. I saw the highlights. They were utterly professional. Taking on MK Dons or Stevenage. Stevenage did a really good job to get a 2-2 draw away at MK Dons. MK Dons played a strong side as well. They're doing well in League One this season. So, yeah, the replay should be interesting. Of course, it'll be interesting to see whether there are rested players. Only Strevs could bottle not getting to round 3 rounds and face a Football League side. Yeah, I mean, in fairness, Boreham Wood are a very, very good side. They're top of the league. Can't argue with that, but it was a poor performance. I can't lie. Can't lie to you about that. Oxford United or Bristol Rovers against Sutton United. Bristol Rovers, since returning to League Two, have had a slowish start, but it's starting to come together to an extent for them now against Oxford United in the replay. Winner taking on Sutton. Burton Albion against Port Vale. Burton Albion decent League One. Port Vale, who faced a relatively changed Accrington Stanley side and absolutely hammered them 5-1 at the weekend. Former Manchester United player James Wilson got a hat-trick in that game for Port Vale. Buxton against Morecambe. Good draw for Buxton. As I said, not the biggest club, obviously not the biggest following. It could have been better, but I suppose you can't be picky when there's so many different possibilities in this in these FA Cup draws. And to get a home draw against a League One side as a Northern Premier League side, you can't really argue with that. So I'm sure Buxton will be delighted. And as I said, if that's not on TV, I'll be absolutely furious. That's got to be on TV. Lincoln City against Hartlepool United or Wycombe Wanderers. Hartlepool did well to get a draw against Wycombe. And to be honest, we're probably a little bit unlucky not to win the game. A slightly contentious penalty, which helped Wycombe get the replay. It'd be interesting to see if Ainsworth rests some players for the home leg, because in previous cup games he has rested players before. We'll see how he gets on. AFC Wimbledon against Gillingham or Cheltenham. AFC Wimbledon avoided a cup set against Guiseley at the weekend. They did pretty well. Guiseley there down at Wimbledon's new ground, and they'll take on Gillingham or Cheltenham. So all League One clash, whichever way you look at it. Colchester United, of course, who avoided the cup set at AFC Sudbury in the Essex derby, as it were. Taking on Wigan or Solihull. Be really interesting, Solihull Wigan. That's probably the pick of the replays, as it were. Really interesting to see how Solihull get on in that replay. I mean, Wigan played a strong side. I don't know. Will Wigan make changes for the replay, or will they go strong again just to make sure they get through? I don't know. There's a lot of football to be played for these Football League sides, and when you're trying to get out of League One, it can be difficult. Sometimes you can misjudge whether to rest players, whether not to rest players. Can be very difficult. Will be interesting to see. Yeah. So let's have a look. Here we are. Oh, God. Why is it loading like that? Oh, there we go. Right. So what have we got next? We have got Leyton Orient against Tranmere Rovers. Leyton Orient, another side who avoided a cup set at the weekend. Leyton Orient, of course, were playing Absolute United at home. Tranmere Rovers were playing just up the road from me at the minute, away at Crawley Town. They got the 1-0 win. Northampton Town or Cambridge United against Bradford City or Exeter City. This is the interesting thing about these ones. When you've got League Two sides playing each other, League One, League Two, but generally sides that are in and around each other in a football league. When you got replays in these first round games, empty crowds. Is there going to be wholesale changes? Generally, I saw the running theme actually was that there was not as many changes in this FA Cup first round as there usually are. There are usually quite a few wholesale changes, and maybe we'll see it more with the Premier League managers, the more elitist managers. But generally, most teams played their strongest teams or pretty close to it this weekend, which is good to see. It's good to see the FA Cup being respected. And Doncaster, wow, that is great knowledge, John. Doncaster and Mansfield played in the second round 15 years ago, and it went to a replay. Of course, I'm trying to think what leagues they would have been in back then. Mansfield, would they have been League Two? Doncaster, maybe League Two as well, or League One. I'm probably way off with that. I honestly don't know. I would have been like 6. So yeah. Walsall against Swindon. Great knowledge, John. Walsall against Swindon Town. As I said, Walsall avoided the cup set away at Kings Lynn Town. Swindon battering a hapless Crewe Alexandria. Crewe look dead and buried really in League One already. And they were a good side last season. They got some good players. They got some really good players at Crewe. So they've of course got the Southampton loanee Kane Ramsey, who's been a bit in and out of the team. It's fair to say they've got Donovan Daniels at the back, Will Jääskeläinen. They've got Mikael Mandron, of course. They've got some good players there. It's sad to see them in the way that they are. Rotherham United against Bolton or Stockport, of course. Stockport, the away following they took to Bolton was incredible. It was great to see. I know it was only local, and you could argue maybe some of them were even City fans or something, but it was a great following, and it'd be fantastic to see the replay. It'd be really interesting to see what the attendance is for a Stockport Bolton replay. I'd like to think it'd be pretty close to a packed house for that. That will be a pretty special night. And a trip to Rotherham if Stockport get through, not the worst in the world. I'm sure they take a lot to that as well. Gateshead Altrincham against Charlton Athletic. Of course, it's not particularly local or anything. It's a pretty long trip, especially if it's Gateshead for Charlton fans. But fantastic to see. Again, one of the non-league sides, whoever gets through, getting a League One side at home, and a big club in Charlton as well. You'd like to think Charlton will take a decent following up there. Bournemouth against St Albans City. Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about that. Yeah. Kidderminster Harriers against SC Halifax Town. That's another one. Guaranteed non-league side in the third round. SC Halifax Town, by the way. I mean, that game against Maidenhead United was absolutely remarkable. I remember being at the Bournemouth Easter game and hearing my phone go off every 2 seconds, and it was FC Halifax 1-0, FC Halifax 2-0, FC Halifax 2-1, and it was just ridiculous, that game. Finished 7-4, Halifax against Maidenhead United, and their reward is a trip to Kidderminster. Of course, they've already had a bit of a scout themselves, beat Grimsby Town, of course, flying high in the National League, looking to bounce straight back. And a penalty for Kidderminster took them through. Will be another tough test for Kidderminster, but they'll fancy themselves after beating Grimsby. Carlisle United against Shrewsbury Town. Carlisle, of course, beat another pretty local side to me in Horsham. Horsham, who are bottom of the Isthmian League, and went up to Carlisle and played incredibly well, exceptionally well. And I believe the score ended up being 2-0 up there. So they held them at bay for quite some time. So credit to them. Salford City against Chesterfield. Again, not the most exciting tie, I suppose, for Salford City, considering, they're on TV in this round. Chesterfield, though, who dispatched of a lowly Southend. Salford will fancy their chances and maybe a money-spinning third-round tie for them, because despite all of the money, they haven't really made a proper crack of the FA Cup since their kind of non-league days, down in sort of 7th tier, 6th tier. and even lower actually at times. Rochdale or Notts County. Notts County, a very good result for them. Went a little bit under the radar, of course, but they've got a replay against Rochdale, and that will be at home as well. And then you got Sheffield Wednesday against Plymouth Argyle, which is going to a replay, which will be at Home Park. If Notts County can get through and get Sheffield Wednesday, that's a good one. Expect Sheffield Wednesday to take a lot there. Ipswich Town or Oldham Athletic. Again, Oldham Athletic did terrifically well to get a replay against a very good Ipswich Town side. And they'll face Barrow, and then finally Portsmouth against Harrogate Town. Yeah, we've already pretty much spoken about that. Harrogate, of course, went 1-0 down to the new money spinning side in Wrexham, and I actually predicted Wrexham win there, but Harrogate did. Fair play to them, come back, and they got the 2-1 win. So yeah, that is the second round draw. I will just literally run you through the ties once again. Yeovil Town against Milton Keynes Dons or Stevenage. Oxford United or Bristol Rovers against Sutton United. Burton Albion against Port Vale. Buxton against Morecambe. Lincoln City against Hartlepool United or Wycombe Wanderers. AFC Wimbledon against Gillingham or Cheltenham Town. Colchester United against Wigan Athletic or Solihull Moors. Leyton Orient against Tranmere Rovers. Northampton Town or Cambridge United against Bradford City or Exeter City. Doncaster Rovers against Mansfield Town. Then we got Walsall against Swindon Town. Rotherham United against Bolton Wanderers or Stockport County. Gateshead or Altrincham against Charlton Athletic. Boreham Wood against St Albans City. Kidderminster Harriers against FC Halifax Town. Carlisle United against Shrewsbury Town. Salford City against Chesterfield. Rochdale or Notts County against Sheffield Wednesday or Plymouth Argyle. My bad. Ipswich Town or Oldham Athletic against Barrow, and then lastly Portsmouth against Harrogate Town. So that is the second round draw in full. Some good ties in there. Of course, as always, it could be better, but I feel like we pretty much say that about every cup draw. There's always the dream ties that you can have, and they never always come to fruition, really. You often get non-league sides against each other, football league sides against each other. Unfortunately, it's just sod's law. It's just the way it goes. But guaranteed non-league sides in the third round, and a couple of good ties in there as well. So it should be pretty good. But yeah, for those of you who don't know me and don't know the channel, this is Sport Reported, covering anything sport related, really. Of course, there is a southern focus with football teams around the area and things like that. But there will be focus across all sports on this channel, and plenty to come, really. So, yeah, I will be doing predictions for the first round replays. That will probably come sometime beginning of next week or maybe Sunday. So keep your eye out for that. And if you haven't already, I'll probably drop it in the description literally just after I come off this. Then follow the Twitter. Twitter is Kieran Gallup, or at Kieran Gallup 00. I tweet copious amounts about random sports, so just keep your eye out for that. I write loads of articles, so just keep your eyes peeled, and there'll be plenty of content to come on this channel regarding sports. Let me know if there's any content that you guys want regarding the sports. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you for everyone that's come on the stream, and yeah, it's been wonderful. I'll speak to you guys in a bit.